Welcome to this week's episode of Healthy Conversations, brought to you by Athens Limestone Hospital, where we highlight the people and programs dedicated to keeping our community well. I'm Susan Claiborne, joined by Karina Farr and Jerome Malone, and today we're shining a light on some of the incredible team members who are truly the heart of patient care. Our special guests are Hannah Lindsay, Kimberly Gatlin, and Tamika King, all nursing assistants serving in various areas throughout Athens Limestone Hospital. In this episode, we'll get to know more about their vital role, how they support patients and staff, and what keeps them inspired and motivated to provide compassionate care each and every day. Thank you, ladies, for joining us. And I know at the hospital we don't refer to all of our positions as nursing assistants. I know each of you have a kind of a different title, but your support role is very similar in your particular areas. So welcome. Thank you for being here.
Thank you.
So kind of give us an idea, kind of introduce yourself and maybe kind of what drew you into being a nursing assistant.
My name's Hannah Lindsay. When I was young, my mom had cancer, so we spent a lot of time in hospitals. And I think during the darkest times of my life, it was the CNAs and the nurses and even sometimes the physicians that really made me feel better in a really dark time. And that always inspired me to kind of become either a nurse, a CNA, whatever it is that I needed to do to get in a hospital, I was going to do it.
Hi, my name is Kimberly Gatlin. I am the ER tech at Athens Limestone Hospital. What inspires me to do this job is I love taking care of the sick, and I also love training people to do my job. I feel like if it's more training to do our job, it'd be an encouragement. We can have more techs to come out and be supportive for other nurses and doctors.
Tamika?
And hi, my name is Tamika King. I'm a PCA. I work on basically all the floors. I work in ICU most of the time on Wednesdays, and then I get pulled to second or third floor. And I love being a PCA because I love taking care of people. I love to make people laugh, believe it or not. I love to have fun and just let them know that I'm there to help take care of them.
Thank y'all ladies so much for being here and kind of representing your path at the hospital, your career path. So thank you.
So it's something that I think I hear each of you saying. I think there are some jobs that people choose, but then I think there are some jobs that choose you. And I was just wondering, y'all, I hear you saying that you love helping people. At what point or what age did you know that this was, this is where my passion is and this is what I really want to do? Was it is it something you learned earlier on, or?
Well, when I was a little girl, I've always took care of somebody in my family. And for Christmas, I asked for a stethoscope, one of those little play doctor stethoscopes. And I used to get my little dolls down and put Band-Aids on them and check their little heart rate with my little stethoscope. And so I've always knew that I wanted to work. My dream was to work in a hospital.
Yeah, I definitely agree. It's definitely a calling. You can't just pick somebody off the street and say, hey, go take care of people in their darkest times. Go wipe their tears, brush their teeth, brush their hair. Not everybody can do that. I think when I was little, like I said, my mom had cancer, so I had to take care of most of my family, and I always knew I wanted to branch out in that aspect. So,
and I think I don't really have a memory of when I was younger wanting to take care of people, but I knew this is where I was supposed to be at, especially during the COVID situation, and I was really proud.
Well, so you can have that could be your dream, right? And it could be something you're looking forward to doing. But let me ask you, when you actually got into the thick of it, was it what you expected? Because it seemed like it could be something that you could be excited about, but once you get into it and all that goes into it, seemed like it could be a lot. Or how was that experience?
You definitely have to learn to embrace it. Whenever I had my first day, it was a really, really busy day, and I got home and I was like, do these people do this every day? This is their job? So I definitely had to take a minute, and I realized, this is what I want to do. And I I guess being so young, I didn't think about the hard parts. So actually like going into it and seeing like, people are going through it and you have to be there for them. It definitely is not what everybody thinks it is. I think it's, especially like TV show, it gets glorified so much. It's completely different from Grey's Anatomy or any other TV show you'll see. So
What kind of shifts do y'all work, out of curiosity? Do y'all work 8, 10, 12s?
I work 12-hour shifts.
All three of you work 12-hour shifts?
Yes, ma'am.
So how often do you go to that 12th hour and realize you didn't even take a break to eat?
Every day.
pretty much.
I hear that.
Any chance you get to sit down and even just char and eat a granola bar, it's a good day.
What kind of training did it take to get where you're at, education, or what steps did you have to take to get into your careers?
Well, I'm going to nursing school, so I always knew that I needed the more patient care experience. So I applied for the patient care aide. I had a week of classroom orientation. We did our CPR certification, our BLS, and then I had 9 shifts where I was training with the CNA. But also, I've only worked on the job for 5 months, so that's probably changed.
It's pretty much the same. I think we went general orientation, and then we got to train with someone on the floor, work a few weeks.
Yeah, I definitely think that getting into it's probably the best training, just because every day I'm sure is so different in what y'all do. And like you said, maybe it's 9 shifts, you probably saw something totally different every single day.
Each shift's different. Say, ER is different from on the floor, working on the floor. ER, we never know. You want to treat others like you would want your family member to be treated. We never know what's going to come in through that door, if it's our family members or if it's our coworker family members or friends or family. I mean, you got to take that passion to jump in to take care of them and to love them. And not only take care of that patient, you got to take care of the family members that's out in the lobby waiting to hear, how's my loved one? Is my loved one still with us, or is my loved one, how is he? Do you have a pulse, or do you have, and then behind the scene in your heart, that they're not with us no more, but you can't tell them that. All you can do is comfort them at the moment. And that's and it's heartbreaking. And, as a tech or a PCA or a CNA, we wear our job on our sleeve every day.
How do you manage and balance your emotions and the mental strain of it? Because it sounds like it could be really, really taxing. And as you're dealing with sharing that kind of information and the heartbreak that comes with it, how do you manage how do you manage it? You have to take a good deep breath and push the tears back. Then once behind the scene, and I've seen it for many years, behind the scene of pushing your tears back when you're talking to the family, I've seen us nurses, techs, doctors, we go behind scene and we got this tissue and we just let it rip. And we just hug and love each other. And that's what our job is about. And not only, I have sat with patients' family, numerous, and just let them cry on my shoulder. And I've sat and cried with them. And a lot of people, it's not a shame to cry with them because you can feel their pain as well.
Biggest thing that'll get me through is my coworkers. Truly, the people I work with, they keep me going every single day. The nurses, the doctors, my managers, unit secretaries, even. Everyone has a role, and we all support each other the best way we can.
Yeah, they're your team.
Yeah, I was going to say, and they're the family that understands.
Yes.
Where your family or your friends don't, those family beside you every day are the ones who understand.
Yes.
How do you take it home with you, or how do you separate it,
Well, you try not to take it home with you.
Try.
But sometimes it's hard because even us being in nursing, it's playing the role. If we've had a hard day at work, our family senses it. And my husband, he's been to my shoulder to cry on for a lot of times. And if I've lost a patient that, especially a close one, and like I said, you never know. Working in the ER, you never know. It can be your grandma or to an infant. it gets sometimes it gets very difficult, but we push through it as a team and we make it.
Well, like, before you work in the ER and you kind of work on the floor and then you work in the ICU and the floor. So the time you get to spend with the patients are very different too. Because obviously in the ER, some of them are kind of that quick come through or waiting till they can get a bed, where on the floor or even in the unit, you could be caring for the same patient for days or weeks. So it's different, that relationship that you tend to develop with the family. So
This is good information, right? Because I think people have a perception, or they're just, I don't know if they understand what you deal with each and every day. So if you had something that you would want people to know about your job and what you guys do every day, what would you want the community to know or families to know about your job?
It's more than the nitty gritty, I guess, nasty stuff that most people think when it's CNA. I mean, there's days where I will braid tons of hair and, help call family members because they can't figure out how their phone works. It's a lot of just heart to heart, and a lot of people don't realize that. So,
And also, it's after hour things as well. You get attached to someone on your day off. You may bring them a card up there, a teddy bear, just something simple that they're asked you for, and they didn't know you were going to come and visit them. It's just a smile on their face and just spend a few minutes with them. So we do care. We do more than just clean.
yeah, I mean, there is a perception than what we think we know, because being in the hospital, I didn't know we had techs in the ER that did those type of jobs. I think of a nursing assistant being on the floor, the patient room, that's coming and helping with trays or baths or cleanups or, those kind of things. So I honestly didn't even know we had that type of position in the ER. So I'm learning a lot myself also.
Yeah.
And a tech in the ER we do a lot in the ER. I mean, we don't just do patient care.
Right.
We help the nurses, if they need their lab work drawn, we draw their lab work. We help them if they need help doing a catheter. We help them do their catheters. And, we do a lot more than just patient care. We fall in, and if the doctor needs help sewing someone up, or just setting up a suture table, just something to get ready for the doctors to do care on our patients. It's just one of the moments behind the closed doors. And we understand that sometimes people get frustrated with us, and, we're working as hard as we can and trying to take care of your loved one as best we can.
How do you not take that personally? I know you said earlier, you understand that it could be someone's worst day of their life when you're seeing them, and maybe they do take their frustrations out on you. How do you kind of divide that up and make sure you separate it? And
at first, it does bother me.
Yeah.
And if it's certain things, it'll bother me more. But like I said, having a coworker that you can just talk to, like there's my nurses, I love every single one of them, and they understand if I'm having a particularly rough day with this patient, then, they'll go help clean them up or help feed them. I mean, like I said, it really is just a team.
And sometimes you want to swap out roles or something.
Yes.
Like, you take this patient, I'll take that patient.
Yes, we
Just
do
do
that
a
all
little
the
break or
time.
something.
Well, and I'm sure
You have
there's
to
personalities.
Oh, yeah.
Sometimes there's different personalities that you kind of have more difficulty with than others. So
For
working
sure.
as a team and being able to swap up. So you take this one and I'll take yours.
But unfortunately, the ER don't get that choice. We do not get that choice, and it's and we get patients that comes through daily that knows us by our name, and they call us by our name.
So I realize one thing, through the years you hear the doctors, right? Which is great. But I notice anytime I'm at a hospital or I'm in the hospital or with family, I see the nurse, and then the doctor comes in for a little bit, but then it's the nurse, the nurse, the nurse, the nurse, the nurse. How do you feel about just how people perceive you guys and the importance that you guys play as far as the nurse's role? Because I feel like y'all are in there like all the time, and we may see the doctor for a minute who says, well, you know, I know his job is super important, but do you feel like y'all get enough awareness, or what are your thoughts on that?
I know at least on the floor, we spend a lot of time with our patients, like hours sometimes, and we're sometimes the first ones to notice if they're short of breath, or just you have that feeling that something's not right. And then you go tell your nurse, the nurse will call the charge nurse, and then we can call the doctor. So I think a lot of people don't realize that sometimes we're the first ones to know that something's wrong. You know, it's not the nurse. I mean, the nurse, they have tons of patients and they're so busy, but we get to like form relationships with people. And say you're working 2 days and one day you have a patient that's so bubbly and bright, and the next day they don't talk much, they sleep all the time, they're not eating, you know, that something, a light bulb comes up and you're like, something's not right. And I don't think a lot of people realize that. They think, oh, the family member noticed it, or, you know, the doctor came at the perfect time, or, you know, the nurse said something. But a lot of the times it is us.
Mm-hmm. You may work 3 days in a row and you had this patient every day, and the third day it might be the nurse's first day. And so you already know how this patient normally is. So a lot of times it is us who catch things like that.
Especially 12-hour shifts. You're spending 3 days with somebody, 12-hour shifts. I mean, I'm sure you really do form a relationship with that person. Yeah, definitely. And I'm
We're
sure
with
that
our
we
coworkers more than most of the time we're with our family.
Oh,
Yeah.
yes, 100%.
Absolutely. I
Wow.
think we can all say that in our jobs a lot of times. So if you were to describe what you do in just a couple of words, just 2 or 3 words, what are the things that how you would describe what you do?
Chaotic, but
It could be chaotic, it could be busy,
Yes.
it could be very stressful,
rewarding.
but rewarding.
Gotta be resilient.
Yes.
Well, I know not everybody can do what you do. Not everybody can do what you do. And it is not just a job, like you said. It's definitely a calling. So we so appreciate what you do. So any other questions?
I had a thought. I had a question, right? Because I was on a program through the hospital, and I know they mentor like high school students that's coming in, right? What would you say to a high school student that's aspiring for to be a nurse or a nursing assistant? What would you?
I would inspire them, and I see a lot of them that comes to the ER with wants us to. I really stress and I tell them, before you go into nursing, do tech work first. Yeah. Make sure that that's what you want to do in life. Because if you start off teching, that would tell you all about nursing. Mm-hmm. And it's very, very important to do tech work first, because you learn a lot more teching, then that helps you through school. And these nurses that's been nurses for many years, if you would just listen to them, they could teach you a lot. I've learned a lot out of 25 years of doing this, and I train a lot. I've seen people that I've trained work on the EMS truck at Athens, and I've seen techs that I've trained go on and do nursing. That warms my heart, because I felt like I've trained them enough to move on in life. I've had people ask me, why don't you go to nursing? I don't want to go to nursing. I love doing what I do. And it takes that person.
Yeah.
And I stress very hard, and I tell them, do tech. Make sure that that's where your heart's going to be. Because if you don't like teching, you won't like nursing.
Yeah, I agree with that. And I know, Hannah, you said that you're in nursing school working at the tech. And the program that you were referring to, Jerome, I know what you're talking about, our ambassador program that we have. We have students come through. And if I'm not mistaken, we've got a couple of students that actually work as techs in the ER that came through that ambassador program who are working as techs and going to nursing school.
Is correct, and I trained both of them.
Well, we know they're well trained then.
No, absolutely. And the process of that is not only do they get to be well trained, but we're hoping that they choose to stay in our community.
Absolutely.
And our employees here in our community, caring for our community, our families, neighbors, and friends for many, many years to come. So that program, we will talk about that program in some future episodes too, for the ambassador program. But I agree.
It's a very good program, and really stress that, you know, hey, just go at it and do your best. Let God lead you the way. And if it's a path, you'll make it.
I have one last question we're talking about CNA Week as a whole. What is a way you like to feel recognized in what you do? What is something people can do that make you feel more appreciated in your job?
Good question.
Great. I haven't really thought about it.
Yeah, I know you don't do it for the thanks and the appreciation, and I know you do it just because you care, but, you know, you all deserve some love for sure.
I think the food's always a bonus.
Yeah. Everyone loves a good meal.
You have a chance to eat.
Yeah.
That's like we have duty-free lunches at schools for teachers. We need some little duty-free lunches for sure. You know? Well, great. Well, thank y'all so much for being here. We have learned a lot and have truly enjoyed having this conversation with y'all. And I know that your peers are going to be thrilled that you did such a great job in representing them. So we just appreciate what you do at the hospital. We appreciate what you do for our community.
And we appreciate y'all letting us be y'all's team. Thank y'all so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining us for this episode of Healthy Conversations. We hope today's discussion gave you a deeper appreciation for the dedication and heart our nursing assistants bring to their roles. A special thank you to Hannah, Kimberly, and Tamika for sharing their experiences and reminding us of the difference made by each act of care and kindness in a hospital. Be sure to follow Athens Limestone Hospital on social media to stay up to date on future episodes and more stories from the people who make healthcare happen in our community. Until next time, I'm Susan with Karina and Jerome. Thanks for being part of the conversation.